Oh, there we
Oh,
are.
there we are. Yeah, I really do look. I fucking pale. And somehow in this light, you're still not like you're still in shadows.
I'm always in the shadows. Never see me coming. People make fun of me at work all the time because I'll be slurping purposely. My little Carbonet. Only us oldies know what this means. Carbonet. All right. I'm Michael.
And I'm strong woman of this Midwestern circus, Scott.
What do I say? And we are two fat beaches.
We wrote it down.
I'm a little tired today, so y'all have to forgive me.
Yeah, I don't know. We're on a beach, but we've got tea.
Oh no! And welcome to Two Fat Beaches, where we're not on the beach.
We are PHAT.
See, I knew I remembered what it was. I need you to get it together, sir. All right, and welcome to episode whatever number. What's in your cup? Blah blah blah.
714.
714. Or 772. So we were having an interesting conversation before we went on air. Because, that's radio talk for going on air. Sorry if we look pale. Well, some of us look pale and washed out. We had made this whole big thing about how we were going to go and look at more equipment and mics and things of that nature.
And then we didn't.
And then we didn't.
I look so pale I could be on the Out 100.
I don't know who that is. I don't know her.
The Out magazine? Where there's always like the most 100 powerful people. And then while you read it, it's just basically strolling down like the mayonnaise aisle.
Well, they will have at least one light-skinned person on there. Like, really, really light-skinned person on there.
Jennifer Beal.
Who's great. Anyway. Lord. Sorry if I seem a little drudge today. It's been just a little... That's why what's in my cup is a cup of McCafe coffee. Okay, what were we talking about earlier? Oh my goodness, and I said,
Oh, we were talking about fast food.
Oh, yes.
So basically, now we're having people, we're having the one other person that watches this that isn't you or I come into a conversation halfway through, so why don't you start again? And I'll pretend like I haven't heard this already.
Well, for the sake of time, I will do a rapper. Is basically, a lot of people know I'm on my health journey, and part of that health journey is I am trying to work on I'm type 2 diabetic, and so I'm trying to reverse that. And I'm reversing that through, exercise and the type of food that I eat. And so over the past few months, I went what some people might say a little overboard in my cutting out of sugar and bad, what I would consider things that don't help in my journey. Which on the surface, when I went to the doctor last week, on the surface, I got back all of my numbers. Well, all the numbers that he could do, which were very, very good. He was super, super impressed. On the surface...
Did you get a sticker?
No. I didn't get a sticker. Or a sucker, bastard.
Wouldn't that be something if, like, by the way, your numbers look really good diabetic, here's a lollipop.
I think they had to give you a sugar-free lollipop. Which would just be
Why
even worse.
Try?
Right, I was like, which would be worse?
My God, it'll be like that sugar-free jelly gummy worms.
No, I will never do sugar-free gummy worms. I've heard horror stories with sugar-free gummy bears. Ugh, no. In fact, I think I've had a situation where I ate some sugar-free
You
gummy
did. It
bears.
was a few months ago.
Yeah, and I said never.
That's how I know about it.
Will never, never, ever, ever, ever do that again. Um, but so to kind of wrap all of that, I ended up getting introduced to an app called Yuka that kind of like takes, you scan it, barcode, and it brings up some information about the food that you purchase, so that way you can make a decision on whether or not you want to eat something. Not necessarily like if this is good for diabetic or whatever. It's just like these are the ingredients in that makes this food item that you should be aware of, and these are some risks that comes along with it. And so you can make your own informed decision on whether you want to carry through and continue eating or want to switch it, because they do offer recommendations. So that got us on the topic of just American health in general. Because what also started me on that trend was I was watching a Instagram video of people talking about foods that are banned in America, or that are not banned in America but are banned all over the place. And like Skittles was one of those things that are banned in other places. Except I did find out that California has now banned Skittles apparently too.
What do you eat after you smoke the weed?
I I don't know. Broccoli, I guess that would be the best thing.
Ew,
Smoke a green, eat a green. Circle of
I
life.
don't know that I would like that flavor combo.
Add some cheese to it. But so then we just started talking about like when it comes to the things that we eat here and the type of health access that we have at the different levels, because not a lot of everybody doesn't have the same access to healthcare. With the vast majority of people barely having any access at all, versus in other countries that a lot of Americans like to make fun of, like, oh, you have free, you have healthcare for all, but it's crappy. And it's like, I have not seen any science that say, but for me, it feels like, they have free healthcare, but because of the regulations that they have for what can be eaten and the type of access to healthier food items they have, reduces the need to constantly go to the doctors because you're overweight or you have all these symptoms and stuff, which can allegedly come from a lot of the food that we consume on a daily basis. And so
That was the longest rapper I've ever heard in my life.
But I mean, we did take like an hour of conversation that I tried to smush it down into 6 minutes.
I can't wait for you to edit this to see me 20 seconds in. Let me look over there for a while. What's on that box?
Oh, I don't edit anymore. I let it go raw. Yeah, you notice I don't edit anymore. I'm like, no, it is what it is. People need to see the truth. The truth. Especially this one, because I have to edit and put it out tomorrow.
Wow. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the kind of conversation that we were
Riveting.
riveting.
But it made me remember, and I don't remember the name of that documentary. The one where the guy ate like supersized fries or whatever.
Oh, Supersize Me, wasn't it called?
Yes. I probably could have gotten there eventually. But he was like, all I ate were supersized fries for a month, and look what happened. And I was kind of like, well, yeah, that was all you ate. Duh. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, and then they're like, we're no longer selling supersized fries as a result. And I was kind of like, okay, well, we still sell guns. That's a terrible analogy. I understand. But you're like, we're going to not sell certain things because it's healthy unless it's a gun. Because we're going to protect your kids from obesity, just not from being shot.
No, they're not. It
was also bad press. Like that's
and
that's
what
why.
it is. It was
bad
really
press.
about bad press with guns and things like that. There's too many powerful people behind that wants to have guns, so there's too much power and money behind that. But when it comes to a supersize, I don't think there's going to be many wealthy people that's like, no, we need to push money so you can keep from banning a lot, supersized fry. Because now you can just get 2 large fries, and that's more money for the company if you really want a large amount of fries.
Was McDonald's the first thing that was canceled?
No, Jesus was the first thing that was canceled. In case y'all didn't know, Jesus was the first one that was canceled.
True.
Got his beliefs, and saw what happened to him.
He got a crown.
Mm-hmm.
He got a crown.
He did in the end.
But yeah, I don't remember really there being like a cultural like canceling before McDonald's, or at least that we would have called that.
I don't know.
I mean, let's face it, we should have canceled him for the Teeny Beanie Babies, because I never did get that fucking pink one.
I just remember back in the day when, like, you know, Big Macs were actually Big Macs. When you got an extra large drink, it was literally like a tub. Got like a mini tub of drinks. And I don't know. So I was actually talking to someone the other day about the Big Macs and like a lot of the sandwiches. And it's like, they just seem so much smaller and smaller. And like, and I know that for the most part, they have gotten smaller. But am I just remembering it being smaller because all of that stuff that we ate was as kids, so we had smaller hands?
Yeah, that's a much nicer way of saying, like, no, it's not smaller, you're just bigger.
Big and beautiful.
But, yeah, I mean, I remember once, when I was in high school, you know, a couple of months ago, and for some reason, I had to go back to, like, my junior high, like, grade school, because it was all one fucking building. Mm-hmm. And walking in and just being like, this is the smallest fucking building I've ever seen. Thinking that, and I remember, like, I did not think that when I was, like, in it.
Mm-hmm.
So it probably is, like, you know, when you were a little kid, like, this Big Mac is gigantic. And,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Are they... I don't know what's on a Big Mac other than Thousand Island dressing.
It's also, you know, I get that analogy because of the school, the high school that I went to is kind of set up like a mini college campus. And I just remember being like, oh, I gotta walk to all these buildings, it's gonna take so long. And then you actually go to a college.
Right, and it's nothing.
Where you literally have to drive from building to building.
Well, we were just talking about a house that we used to live in together. And it was like, oh yeah, I mean, it wasn't that bad of a house. But now, like, looking back on it, I'm like, oh yeah, it really was small compared to my, like, McMansion that I live in. And we had 3 people and 2 dogs.
I mean, this whole downstairs is about the size of...
The front room plus your room plus the one bed. Yeah, oh yeah.
No, I mean, like, all of it.
Oh,
if you just take this whole thing, it's about the size of the house.
It's the house.
And now you add another layer to it.
Yeah.
So... I can imagine certain people going up and down those stairs every day, but we like to be nice on this show, so we're going to remain nice on this show. All right, all tea, all shade. I mean, no tea, no shade. Lord Jesus.
We got on that conversation to say, like, Michael's very tired because possibly, allegedly, like, now that he's dieted correctly, but his medication hasn't been adjusted, now his numbers are too low. Possibly. A well-informed person might have said this.
But my doctor never said anything, so...
Not informed.
Mm-hmm.
Not informed.
Yeah, nobody was informed. I'm informing myself.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And I didn't say anything. I would never.
He keeps trying to say that he done said all of these things to me, and he hasn't. Because you want to know what my conversations with Scott looks like? Whenever I bring up my journey, this is him.
I'm proud of you. That's a look of pride.
You do that.
You do.
If it works for you, you do that.
You do it.
That's
do
it.
it big. Do it big.
That's it.
I'm proud of. I am.
Never have we sat down and like, well, here's are my concerns with your doing.
Whatever.
Any of this
Yes,
stuff.
we have.
Never. Have been like, here are my
on
concerns.
My couch. But besides that, I am proud of you. There, a moment of genuineness. Look at you. You're doing it.
Am I?
It only took you 433 journeys to find one that
Look,
worked.
433 journeys
You
in
know
a
what did it?
20-year span.
You know what did it? Not telling everyone on Facebook you were on a journey. That's what did it. The people who were on his old Facebook know.
Lord. Yeah. So now I'm just at the point where I'm like, I don't want to. I'm not, as I said earlier, I'm not dying to be skinny. And it's just, when it comes to your health, you want to do the right things, but, sometimes you're scared because you're not. Things are new problems are coming up from you trying to do the right things that you're like, how do I balance everything out? Because the amount of stuff that I kicked out of my diet over the past 3 months, like, would be insane to another person. But
Militant?
very militant. But at the same time, it got me the results that I have been looking for. But now, towards, after the body has adjusted, because it takes a few months
Yeah.
for your body to detox and get adjusted to it. Now my body's like, all right, I feel like he was saying earlier, my body is balancing out, especially as I continue to lose the weight. But as I continue to lose the weight and my medication doesn't get adjusted, because my diabetics is a form, it comes from the being
from
overweight,
sugar.
comes from sugar, from being overweight and all of that stuff. That's why I said I have a chance to reverse it. But as my numbers are dropping down, before they were going up. And so I took the medication and stuff to balance it out. So they're within a certain range. Now that I've got them to be in a lesser range than what I'm supposed to be at. So basically I took them out of this is where as a diabetic, you're supposed to be comfortable. You should be comfortable at with the medication. They're now in it doesn't look like you're diabetic at all because your numbers are reading as if you've never been diabetic. And I think it's a combination of the fact that all the foods that I cut out and all the medications that I'm on. But as I continue to do what I'm doing, I feel like we're getting to the point where it's okay. All right, now your numbers are getting lower and lower because your body literally is not producing, now it's not producing enough sugar to keep it going, to keep you going. So it's trying to find that balance right there. And let me tell you, it is. I remember I used to complain about the fact that it was.
I was
Are we
looking.
ready?
I was looking something up for later.
Are we done? Are we ready? Okay, let's continue. I like we're filming here. I remember used to complaining about the fact that, it's so much cheaper to buy junk food and food that is bad for you than it is to buy, a wealth of fresh vegetables and all of that stuff. And that used to be an issue. But I don't know about you, but I feel like nowadays it is just as expensive to buy
It's
junk
expensive to buy
food.
no matter
Yeah,
whatever
just
you want to buy.
whatever.
But I will say, like, I don't know if this happens to you, and maybe this is just the awful Kroger's that I live by. But like, I get the vegetables to the car and they're already rotted. Like, I got a thing of bananas and I got it home and they were just immediately brown. Like, and like, to not exaggerate, like, maybe a day later, it was. And that's like when you're like, well, I bought avocado, and I was like, oh, I could never. That shit would oxidize in the cart.
Well, here's my thing with the avocado. I only buy one or two at a time. And I make sure I buy one that's really firm and I buy one that's a little squishy in the hands. Because I know the one that's a little squishy in the hands, I can use for breakfast the next day. And then the one that's a little bit firmer, it'll take a day or two. And I've not wasted an avocado. Now, I wish I could get it. Like, sometimes I'll cut it open and it'll still have little brown spots throughout. But I treat it like an apple or banana. Oh, you fat bitch. Okay. But yeah, just so you know, that's a trick that you could use for avocados. I don't eat bananas because they're very
Yeah.
high in sugar. I don't eat a lot of fruit because it's very high in sugar. But I need to eat. Clearly, I need to start eating fruit.
Full story, bro.
No.
No. But I mean, like, what? Like, if the grocery store that you go to has, apples or like a bag of lettuce that is already brown and soft. I mean, just nothing. And like the stuff that isn't bagged, like apples or even like heads of lettuce, you look at and it's kind of like that lettuce looks like it was a bowling ball. Well, why wouldn't you just buy chips that are going to last for a whole week? You know what I mean?
Who has chips that last for a whole week?
Well, if you don't eat the whole bag at once, journeys.
And that's why I'm on the journey I'm on. Because
you buy a bag of chips and there's 14 chips in it and just 10 pounds of air.
Yeah. I was done buying bags of chips long before this journey when I started realizing that they were like becoming like $5, $6, $7 for a regular for a bag.
I mean, like inflation, which made up. By the way, it's stupid. Yeah, a bag of like, I bought a bag of Fritos to put in chili that I made. The Fritos were more than the tomatoes, the beans, and the tomato juice together.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the fake meat, that's a whole separate thing.
Yeah.
But, I mean, shit, even the fake meat isn't that much more than the normal meat nowadays.
Yeah. It is ridiculous. And then for the amount that like you said, you get like 14 chips in a bag. You wanted me to pay $7 for 14 chips in a big size bag, in a big bag.
Yeah. And I mean, you could go to a different store, but then like, if I were to go to the Gay Marsh downtown, it's twice as much for literally the same thing.
Really?
Oh,
I found them to be
the
same.
Girl,
maybe it's just what I shop for.
Go look at your receipt from like a Kroger and look at your receipt from Gay Marsh. It is insanely different.
I'll definitely have to check it out. And I don't know, it might just be I don't get a lot of stuff there at the Gay Marsh, so the stuff I do get generally runs around the same amount.
I mean, that could be that
too. Kroger's. I know from past experience that Marsh has always been very, very expensive. But I also have felt like Kroger's is trying to get, be more than what it is.
And I mean, I would go to like
prices.
What the hell's that like kind of nice one? I'd go to like a Trader Joe's or the one downtown that's like the fresh food or whatever.
Fresh Time or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I'd go there, but it's gonna be worse. And they're not close. Like Trader Joe's, the only one that I know of is like at least 20 minutes away, 25 minutes one way. If you don't get shit traffic. And, I mean, going downtown, I'd rather not.
And that's the thing with a lot of places that sell, like, really good product is that they're all out of the way so that certain demographics of people has a harder time getting to them.
Although maybe I will go up to Trader Joe's because I bet there won't be any potholes.
I don't know. I'm just taking this year to work on my journey, and I'm suffering through spending a little bit more money because after the year is done, hopefully the next year I will be at a point that I can maintain the weight loss and I can go back to having pizzas and I miss pizza. I miss ice cream the most. Oh my God, I miss ice cream.
I was never a big ice cream person. Seeing that doll reminded me. So, hang on, I have to go get it. Hang on! Hold on! My God. Tell a joke, Michael. I'm trying to get over here. I got a joke while I'm on the way back.
Scott's sex life.
Drove past the cemetery, and I thought to myself, you know what? People are dying to get in. Thank you. So, I have this. It's on my fireplace. The Trixie Mattel doll. And when I just got new windows put in. Don't ask how much. But it was like 13 windows. It was a lot. Well, one of the guys comes upstairs and he's putting the windows down here. And he goes, "Where'd you get that Trixie Mattel doll?" Mind you, this is like I know how to use a saw type person. I mean, and I was kind of like, "Are we going to have sex?" And he was like, "Well, I think that my brother's girlfriend, or my girlfriend, or my brother's girlfriend, or something. No, his girlfriend. His girlfriend would really like it." And I was kind of like, "Uh-huh." As I was like, "Uh-huh." And I was like, "Oh, well, you had to get on, like, the website or whatever." And then I was just kind of sitting there like, I'm having a conversation with an obviously a person that obviously identified as a heterosexual. Or at least that he had a girlfriend, I guess. About a drag queen Barbie doll in my house. You know what I mean? Like,
Should have got laid. Should have went for it.
well, never mind.
Oh, you did? Is that what you're trying to say?
No.
That's a beautiful Trixie doll, though. I will.
It is. I really like it.
Trixie doll.
Isn't there? There's a lot of it. But yeah, I was kind of like, people like, you know who this is? Like,
To me that says one of two things. One, they are maybe they're closeted, maybe they're not even closeted, maybe they are part of the queer community, but as you said, they could be bisexual, pansexual, poly, relationship,
they could be
blah,
whatever.
blah, 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 blah.
Or I mean, it's just weird. Like, when I was like, I can think back. I don't know. Drag Race is. This is season 16, so I can think back like 20-ish years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I knew the name of a single drag queen, other than the one that when we would go to Drink and Drown at the old Unicorn, R.I.P., who would stand there like just with the hand out. You know the one. And then like no one would do it, and so she would like slowly turn to the other side.
Mm-hmm. I can't remember her name, but all I remember is barbecue sauce and.
Let me explain. So the Unicorn used to be a private club. It was the strip club, and so every Monday they would have Drink and Drown, where you paid $5 and you just got to drink whatever. It was watered down beer.
That was Thursday.
Well, Thursday they started it because the cabaret closed, and the cabaret they had Drink and Drown on Thursday, which is why the Unicorn had drag queens. Because they had the people that used to do the shows at the cabaret go to the Unicorn.
So was it Monday's Drink and Drown?
Yeah, Monday was Drink and Drown.
I kept telling everybody it was Thursday.
Well, no, then it became Monday and Thursday.
I mean, the initial Drink and Drown.
Initial was Monday,
before the drag queens and the...
Yeah, initial was Monday. And so you'd go in there, and you've got your... I mean, this cup they're this big. Of watered down beer. I used to get screwdrivers because they usually were fine. Michael was the queen of a mattress. Still today, the only person I know that's ever actually ordered one.
I kept them going for.
And then you would sit there, and then over would stroll somebody to be like, "I'm just trying to get through college." and meanwhile, I'm like, "Okay, yeah, but I just saw that old man in the corner giving you a handy. And I don't think he tipped you, so here's $5 because I feel bad."
You might have shoved it somewhere.
You know, not respectfully. But I also remember going once with you, where all of us. Never mind, I can't say that on YouTube. But Michael had a very good time with the Unicorn one night.
No, go ahead and say it.
With somebody who was in a zebra print G-string. He was very drunk.
Okay, so I was one of those people that would show up at like 6:00 in the evening.
It was back when we used to do Heroes Monday.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was one of those times when you lived on New York Street, and then we went to the Unicorn.
But generally, when we would go for the unicorn, due to unicorn, those of us who were smart, because of the fact that they watered down everything.
Sorry. I need to. I thought
I have my phone. Today.
That's because it's up there.
Is it in the way?
Okay. I'm gonna move the phone, and I'm gonna fix the doll.
But
I'm afraid the box.
So back in the day, we used to go at like 6:00. That way you can get all the watered down mattresses and screwdrivers and stuff that you can get before everybody showed up. Because after 9:00, when people started showing up, good luck in the line. Because it literally was the plastic, almost clear Dixie cups that you would get. But there was a time I had a particular favorite one. His name was Priest. Now, despite my demeanor, I'm kind of a very shy person.
Until he got 7 mattresses,
Hush.
and then he was DTF.
Look, we're gonna calm down on that one. So I'm kind of like I don't like to, well, I won't say shy. Despite the fact that I'm a Leo and I'm very loud and I do like to enjoy talking to people, I don't like being put into center stage. I'm stage shy.
Same, yeah.
So we had some friends. There was a group of us that went out. We brought some girlfriends with us, and they were doing the whole paying them to go be put on the stage and laid across the stage, and the dancers would dance on them. Well, someone decided that they wanted to pay for my favorite Priest to dance for me on stage. And at first I wouldn't go, but everybody kept pushing me, so I finally reluctant and went. And he laid me across the stage and got up and, was doing all the gyrating and dropping it low and all of this stuff. And he had on mesh thongs. And I was in shock. I opened my mouth out of shock. Because, when you're like, what's going on? And perfect timing. Balls fell out of the mesh and right into my mouth.
Oh my god.
It was the worst day of my life.
Oh, I didn't think you were going to actually tell the whole thing.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Let the audience get to know the real Ish. Yeah.
Do you remember the shower stall?
Oh, God.
So, and they didn't do this on Drink and Drown Night. I only ever saw it on a Saturday.
Yeah.
But so there was like the stage in the middle where that had the like pole, and then there was a stage at like the front that no one ever used, but they would wheel out a shower stall. And then they would turn on a shower, and then 2 people would be in there, like, whatever. But the water didn't, like, drain. Because it was a self-contained thing. So they were just it was just recycling the water that had already, like, gone through the whole cycle. At the end of that night, that shit looked like pasta water.
Oh.
And people would lose their minds. And then in the corners, I don't believe we're talking about the unicorn.
Well, hold on. I want to add more to the shower thingy. So there used to be a stripper who we used to call Rolex.
Yes!
Because he was a self-identified heterosexual man.
He knew how to make money.
Who
Get
it? Through actually having gay sex. He was a gay for pay. But he identified as a heterosexual man. But one of his talents is that, and why people call him Rolex, is because if you tipped him enough, he would literally pull out his penis and wrap it around your wrist. Like, not like, it was like I had to pull and straight. Like was that long, soft, that it would literally wrap around your wrist. And he was particularly popular in the showers because let's just say he always made it a holy night, and he would always expose. Do you remember? What is that John Waters movie? Pink Flamingos, and the
Yes.
birthday scene.
Yeah.
If you haven't, look it up, but don't look it up, but also look it up, and that's what I'm talking about. There's your little homework assignment. Pink Flamingos by John Waters with the lovely, talented, and deeply mystifying, and just a whole cast of beautiful, beautiful characters. And there's a particular birthday party scene. Bow, 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 bow. Once you hear that, you know what I'm talking about. Okay. Now back to the corners.
Oh, so the corners. The corners of the unicorn, which the sad thing is, we're probably now about their age.
Oh.
But the corners, cause they were dark corners, obviously. And it would be where like the like kind of skeevy older guys would go sit, and then you wouldn't hear anything, you'd never see anything. But all of a sudden, like, you kind of look over, and every once in a while, and you would just see, like, an elbow doing that. Out of the shadows. And what did we used to call it? Hose row?
Hose row. I still remember one
the
famous.
fucking unicorn. I haven't thought about that place in forever.
There was a lot more than hand jobs going on, because I specifically, every time I think about that particular area of the place, one situation always come to mind. There was this Latin dancer who I just remember peeking in the corner, in the actual corner, not just that corner area, but in the actual corner. He was standing in front of someone, slightly benched over, and you can tell by his facial expressions, he was like, and you could just tell that someone was, there was relations going on. And I would be utterly, utterly remiss if I did not mention that my fingers have fell a few times in some places they should not have. But I was always ridiculously drunk and
every time.
Good tipper.
Even back then, I was always a good tipper.
Remember Johnny's friend that he used to work with?
Which one?
Okay, so this is my last story about the unicorn. There was a gentleman that used to work with Johnny. He was a white gentleman, and he was one of those. He grew up around a bunch of black women. He was really tall, blah blah blah.
Oh my God!
And apparently,
I forgot about this.
He had saw me at some point and had wanted to meet me, and so Johnny, rest his soul, decided to invite him out to a night at the Unicorn.
Oh my God. I forgot about this.
So I met this person, and I'm like, okay, because he showed up, this like 6'5" or 6" white boy dressed in, swag. Like at the time, like clearly he was at least 10 years older than me. I was like in my early 20s, so, at that time, you're at least 10 years older than me. I don't know if he actually was. He looked like he was 10 years older than me. But, oh my goodness, I had gotten really, really, really drunk. And everybody kept trying to get me to leave. And somehow, apparently, the drunker I got, the more attracted to him I became. To the point where my fingers might have slipped in areas. He was enjoying himself. I was enjoying myself. Everybody kept trying to pull me, trying to get me to leave because they saw where this is going. Because people knew how I was when I get drunk. And I remember I said, no, I'm good. He's going to take me home. And then we drove to the parking lot of the apartment building that I was in, and we started making out. And then I remember climbing on top of him, and he was ready to go to Pound Town.
Uh-huh.
And I said, I can't do this. Got out the car, ran to the building, and never saw him again.
Oh my God. Michael, I forgot about that.
I think that's why I have such bad. I'm a horrible person.
Oh my god! Do you also remember when we went to the unicorns and it was like all of us, and you lived on New York Street, and you were dating the Peeps guy.
Oh, sorry.
And then we all went back to your house, and just slept wherever. And then, yeah, I remember you coming out to be saying that the Peeps guy needed to like calm down. We call him Peeps because you're gonna have to tell. I don't remember. Other than
Okay.
stale Peeps.
So there was a guy that, so it all started, this guy was supposed to be hooking up with a friend of mine named Dana. They were supposed to be hooking up together. And I remember we went to like Bloomington or whatever. And Dana,
I didn't know that.
yeah, and then Dana was like over him, was like, I really don't want anything to do with him. So he asked me if me and my crew can take him home. And we were like, okay. Somehow I ended up convincing the guy to come back and like crash at my house because I generally like, he would seem fun to hang out with, and we were all trying to hang out. So I was like, well, you can just come and hang out and you can crash at my place. One thing led to another, and all of a sudden we were dating.
A whirlwind romance.
A whirlwind romance.
No, I think it was longer than that.
I mean, things were. We were fine. Like nothing like major. I mean, there were some private things that were going on behind the scenes, but I won't go into any of that stuff. But on the outside, it was like everything was fine. Everything was fine. And then one day he decided he went home to his home area, wherever it was, and stayed the night or two there. Rather than dress it all up, come to find out, I found out that he had slept with his ex-boyfriend. Got drunk and they slept together. And me at the time, I'm like, well, you know what? Do what you do. We're done. I mean, obviously we're done. And you go on about your way. And everybody who really knows me knows I love Peeps candy. Easter, that's the thing I look forward to the most on Easter, is the sugary, marshmallowy, diabetic infused Peeps.
That's what did it.
That's literally Peeps. I would not, as many Peeps as I've eaten in my lifetime, I would not be surprised if that was what did it. But I love Peeps. And so in order to win me back, because he was so sorry and everything, in order to win me back, he bought me some Peeps. And I did not take them back, but I took the Peeps. And they were stale. They were old and stale.
So old. They were Peeps from this man's childhood.
I was like, wow, you are really, you were really trying to win me back with some stale Peeps.
Stale Peeps. That's what you were worth.
I was worth stale Peeps.
My God.
The youth. Our youthful days. And now clearly I wish that person nothing but the best. And I found out years later, I don't know if I ever told you, but last I heard, he moved to like Tennessee or Louisiana or something and got married and all that stuff. I don't know if it's still,
I don't even remember his actual name. We don't have to say it because YouTube, but. Right. Do you?
Yes.
Okay, I don't. I just remember Pete. Because that's what we called him. Forever, he was just Peeps.
Yes. Or do I remember their name?
See? I don't, because there were like 30 people.
I do, because I do, because remember we had a roommate with the same name who was also
there was
R.
Oh.
Because as bad as it is, both of them had the same issues.
Oh, I didn't know
had
that.
the same issue.
Wait, no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they both had the same thing, and I was just like, wow.
Yes, I remember.
Two Ryans. And,
All right.
Well, I'm out of the bag. I ain't cutting that shit, though.
Send your litigation to Michael at
Allegedly. There. Now they can't get me. Allegedly.
allegedly.
Allegedly. All of this is allegedly. But no. Like I said, I wish them nothing but the best. And the sad thing is like, if they hadn't cheated, we probably still would have been together. He was. I genuinely liked him.
You did like him, and look at you now, jaded.
Jaded.
Because of stale peeps.
All because of stale peeps.
Oh my god. So many.
If they had been fresh peeps, I would have taken them back. But stale peeps was a bit.
It's so like when you think about like the trajectory of our like, let's say dating lives, all the times that we went out or whatever, like I was always, Goody Proctor, Sarah Plain and Tall, and then whenever we'd go out, you would be like, I don't know, Hottie from Flavor of Love, and not going out, it was always the inverse. Like I think the Unicorn's the only place I ever like left someone with, which whatever. But I can remember like going to Drink and Drown. And then going back to your house and everyone just falling asleep on your wicker couch. Wicker.
Good time.
And I remember flirting with someone else there a lot. And then I didn't realize it, And now looking back is like, oh no, that was happening.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. Would not have ended well.
No. Well, I will say my life does no longer go, I don't traverse those types of stories anymore.
I just don't go to bars anymore.
Yeah, we don't.
I can drink at home for cheaper.
And I don't really drink at home. So I don't know if it's because I've drunk too much in my youth that now drinking is just literally a social event and not even that much. Can't even tell you the last time I've gotten drunk, and if I did get tipsy, it was literally off of wine, because I'm now a white woman. And my sexual escapades have completely gone downhill. But maybe we'll have some stories for you this summer. And that's when these things will really get interesting, when I can be like, let me tell you what I did last night. Or should I say who? Or how many of who? Or whatever things happen.
Yeah, I can't wait to record one of these after Gen Con. Because, it's soon. And dear audience member, the one of you, there's nothing better than the good Gen Con trade. I can't wait to hear your exploits at Gen Con.
I can't wait to have them. Because let me tell you, my prude days are coming over. Coming to an end. Until something happens, I'm like, please don't touch me.
Until you jump out of the car and say, I can't do this.
Can't do this.
Oh my God.
The many times
I forgot about that. I forgot all about that.
The sad thing is that is not the first time I have. Wow, I'm a horrible person. Back in the day, back in my youth, I was prone to getting hot and heavy with men, and then at the last minute, no. N-O. There's no consent here anymore.
That didn't exist in 2004. At least that's what I have to tell myself. Not that I was the aggressor.
Right.
Anyway.
So, we're going to wrap this up here.
Yeah.
Because we're going to talk a little bit about our future plans. I know we talked a little bit last time about our future plans, but we still are in the works of doing some reactions to some stuff.
Yeah, I picked out the thing that I want to show you first.
Okay. And so we're just, we're trying to get together and look at different options of how we can start recording reactions without having to deal with a lot of the legalities that come with it.
Or just because neither of us is smart enough to figure out how to record the screen
Right.
with the sound.
Right. And then also, well, at least myself, I'm not paying for Netflix or Hulu's or any of that stuff because they're bullshit, right? They're on their bullshit right now. They're all on their bullshit.
Yeah, all the ones that I'm logged into aren't mine.
I just, I wasn't Netflix. I was using someone else's.
Oh, did they do that thing?
They finally shut me.
Yeah, I haven't had Netflix forever.
They said it's like, there was like the message that popped up when I signed in. It was like, you don't seem to be a part of this person's whatever. Would you like to get your own? Because you're not using this one anymore. It's like, well, nope. Delete this app off my phone. And I just got an email from Disney Plus that they're getting ready to do the same thing, and they're going to have all these different tiers and all this other stuff. And what's sad is I have Disney Plus, and the only reason I'm still paying for it, even though I barely watch it, is because my niece and nephews watch it, uses my account so they can watch,
Oh, and now they're going to be able
stuff.
to watch your account.
And now they won't be able to.
What if they say that you're not Michael? What if they say that like they're the real one and you're the person using it? But anyway,
but the way that they do it and everything, I mean, it's one of those things where it's just very sad.
Yeah.
That like it's sad that we're still living in a world where where companies, despite the fact telling you I'm losing, it's funny how they always tell you we're losing millions, but at the end of the year they had made billions of dollars. It's just so weird how that happens. But you make all of this money, and you still live in a world where a vast majority of the people are still living in poverty levels, and you want people to use your brand, but you want people to use your brand, but the people that would use your brand are people who can't really afford to use your brand. So we have to come away, hey, here, use my account so that way you can see it and be able to watch things. We live in a world where nobody's getting any raises, where everything is and then you're raising prices on everything.
Right, like I mean, the people that do get raises, it's like anyway, this is a whole separate thing. You all know, you live in the world.
Yeah.
We say all that to say we're trying to figure out how to do like recording or reactions and how that will look and stuff. Also sound.
Get better quality.
So, and even if none of you ever watch any of this, it'll be a fun thing to do as friends. So until next time.
Oh, you got it.
I got it. Until next time, it's the bottom.
It's the bottom. You should. Never mind.
Well, bottom which way? What the?